Welcome back to FM Story. In the last episode, we began Season 8 of this South American Glory Hunt save. We stayed in Colombia, but we jumped ship and left Junior and went to Atletico Nacional. We actually started pretty well. We're top of the table after 8 games of the opening league phase. We did face Junior in the last game of the last episode and threw away 2 leads to come away with a 2-2 draw. Overall, things are going pretty well. So without further ado, let's see if the good start can continue. We're at the end of March. We've got a league game coming up against Alianza. We are absolutely flying as far as the league phase is concerned. Obviously, as we've said before this season, the league phase itself isn't that important. We need to finish in the top 8 to make it into the semi-final stage. And then the semi-final stage is where it all starts getting serious. However, going into this game against Alianza, we've got some big players missing, one of which could torpedo our chances in this Apertura. We ended the last episode with a 2-2 draw at home against Junior. Since then, we've won every game. We had a battle against Tolima away, won 4-3 with a 90th minute winner. We then won 4-1 against Once Caldas, 4-1 against Aguilas Doradas, despite having Oscar Pereira sent off after 6 minutes. We qualified from the preliminary round of the Copa Sudamericana by beating Claneros. We then beat Real Cundinamarca. We beat Claneros again in the league this time. And then in the most recent game, we beat Cucuta Deportivo. But you will see there an injury to our new goalkeeper, Felipe Parra. He's out for 2 months with a dislocated shoulder. And when you go into the game against Alianza, obviously we've got Parra out injured with that dislocated shoulder. We've got Oscar Pereira, who is doubtful because after he got sent off, he picked up an injury and hasn't been back in the team yet. But what's more of a problem is that we're missing 4 players who are away on international duty with Colombia under-23s, which includes our 2 first-choice centre-halves in Arboleda and Alzate. It includes one of our number 10s in Pedro Cordoba. But with the injury to Felipe Parra, most importantly, it includes Luis Molina, who is our backup goalkeeper. So we are in all worlds of hurt in terms of who's going to play in goal. They are 14th in the league. We are 7 points clear at the top of the league face. So for this one game, it really doesn't matter too much. It just depends how long those players are away on international duty as to whether it's going to have an impact on things as we go forward. So this is the side we've selected for the game against Alianza. We've had to go for Garcia in goal. We've pulled him out with the reserve team. He is not good enough to be playing goal. So we could be struggling here, obviously without our first choice centre-half pairing as well. So we've gone with Braca and Trejos. One thing we didn't mention is, at the end of the last episode, a couple of Brazilian clubs had come in for Garavito, who, when we turned it down, threw his toys out the pram and the morale in the squad plummeted immediately. So he's left, and we've brought in Alfred Caicedo, who is an Ecuadorian international left-back. He's coming in and actually hit the ground running pretty well. Pereira is not fit enough to even have a fitness test, so we're playing a youngster in Alberto Neira on the left-hand side. We have been playing Rubiano through the middle in the absence of Ceballos, who's been injured, but Rubiano's been ill and isn't fit enough to start, so Ceballos is coming back into the team. And basically, we are playing a pretty jumbled up team, and hopefully we can come away with something against it. I mean, we have been in great form with our full strength team. They've been pretty bad, so hopefully we can continue that on. Right, from the kickoff, Badugo looks out to the right to Angel. They've got the ball. Leon Muniz goes back. Braca to Trejos. Back to Braca. They're letting the centre halves have a lot of the ball, which I'm not surprised at. Torres now driving forward, out to Angel on the right. His cross is blocked, and they've played it up the line. Torres finds Braca. Now we've got Trejos in space with Caicedo in lots of space on the left-hand side. I thought he'd overrun it. He's driven into the box, squares it, and a tap in from Brian Leon Muniz puts us 1-0 up in 2 minutes. And yeah, once he takes his first touch, I think the defender's just going to clear it. The defender just misses it completely. Caicedo continues driving into the box, pulls it across the 6-yard box, and a simple tap-in. Right, a corner. Torres, the in-swinger. It's headed away. And now they're going to break down this left-hand side. Neira gets back and does a great defensive job for a left winger. Torres finds Angel. Badugo back to Angel in the box. What a bit of interplay there. We stopped their counter-attack well. Came back, got a second. And we're in control of this game now. So Torres finds Angel, finds Badugo, then makes the run. Badugo just lifts it over the defence. Angel takes his touch and just fires it into the bottom corner. Right, Torres with another corner. Again, lifted towards the far post. Again, they've headed clear. But this time, Braca picks it up. Finds Angel. It's shifted across to Caicedo on his right foot. And it's just over the top. Right, Caicedo to Neira on this left-hand side. Infield. And shifted over to Angel on the right. Angel again. Infield. Torres. Into Angel in the box again. And he's got another. 2 very similar goals. This one we're going to need a VAR check for. But it's Angel on the right, playing the ball into the middle of the pitch to one of the central midfielders, who then plays it between or over the defenders for Angel, making that run in towards the box. The defender just doesn't track him, gets it, takes a touch, and again just fires across the keeper. I mean, it was well onside. I don't know why we needed the VAR check. There we are, half-time, 3-0 up. Strong performance. We've not really been tested at the back, which is a good job given we've got our third-choice goalkeeper and we're missing both our first-choice centre-halves. Just more of the same in the second half, I think. Right, we made one change at half-time. Badugo was struggling a bit fitness-wise, so Quinones has come on in that. And we've dropped him back into a more defensive midfield role just to add a bit of solidity in front of that makeshift backline. Very little happening at the start of the second half though. Right, so we made some more changes just to get some fresh legs on there, just to see out this game. There's nothing of note that's happening in the second half so far. There we are, full time, 3-0. In the end, a pretty comfortable victory despite the juggling we had to do with our squad to get a team together. And hopefully we can continue on this way. We've made it to the last day of the opening phase of the league. We've hammered the qualifying in terms of making it into the top 8 for the semi-final. We are top of the table. We are going to finish top of the table no matter what happens in this last league phase game against Deportivo Cali. Since that victory against Alianza, we've had a pretty decent run. We had a 2-0 victory away at Envigado. We beat America de Cali 4-1 at home. We drew the Medellin derby with Independiente 1-1. And we beat Alianza of Peru 2-0 in the opening game of this Copa Sudamericana group, where we've also been drawn against Deportivo Táchira and Talleres of Argentina. Obviously, not too bothered about that competition because we've already won it as far as the save's concerned, but the board will want us to progress in that competition. Looking at the opening league phase, we've won 14 out of 18. We've lost the one game so far, which was that game very early on against Millonarios. We've had some outstanding individual performances. Brian Leon Muniz Thomas Angel and Oscar Pereira have been outstanding. Angel and Pereira right up at the top of the assists chart as well. And things have gone so well that we've not even really missed our number one goalkeeper, Parra, since his just injury with his dislocated shoulder. We have, in fact, also suffered an injury to Badugo, who was so important in the centre midfield for us as well. But going into this last game of the league phase, hopefully we can pick up another victory so that we go into the semi-final group in good form. So this is the side that we've picked for the final game. It's probably just about our strongest team that we can get out there. We have done a couple of deals for the second half of the season to bring some players in just to strengthen some of the fullback areas and potentially some of the midfield areas as well. With Badugo being out injured, we've brought Quinones into the starting lineup, which has meant we've dropped him back into that defensive midfield role, just to add a bit more solidity to the team, and it seems to have done all right in that time frame. But Deportivo Cali, second in the league this season so far. They're in great form as well. It's going to be a tough game with not an awful lot riding on it. All right, a corner for them. We've got a header on the near post. It's gone back to the corner taker. Free man on the edge of the box. We've got a block in there. And then it's been cleared. An awful lot of green and white in the kits for the two teams. Pereira's won that ball back into the box, goes down. I mean, I don't see how that is possibly a penalty, but given that some of the ones that look the most like penalties aren't, and the ones that don't look like penalties are, it's probably going to end up being a penalty. And it's not been given. I mean, it didn't look like a penalty. Right, a throw for them. It's won back by Caicedo, but he gave it away, and now they're attacking again. Now they've got space on the left-hand side. Cross comes in towards the back post. They get above Caicedo at the far post, but can't keep the header down. Right, Angel with a corner for us into the near post. It's up in the air. It's headed back and loops onto the top of the net. And there we are, half-time 0-0. Despite the way the match stats look, we've not really done an awful lot. There wasn't an awful lot of any highlights in that first half of note. But we do have some very tired boys out there. We need to change them at half-time, I think. All right, and there we go. 4 changes at half-time. We've got most of the tired bodies off and brought fresh legs on. A corner for us, Angel, the outswinger. A bullet header. And it's been turned behind for a corner from the other side. Angel to take the in-swinger this time. Aims for the far post, and the keeper was able to come and claim it pretty easily. Right, we've made our final change, but neither team looks too bothered about getting anything extra from this game. It looks like it's just going to turn into a pretty boring 0-0 draw. Although we've got a throw late on Arboleda to Ramos, back to Arboleda. Ramos, who's come on for Angel, pulls it back. Arboleda, Cordoba into Ramos, and he's put it over the top. And there we are, full time, 0-0. We end the league phase top of the table and now go on for the semi-final group. And there we are, the end of another episode, and a pretty successful episode at that. We're finished the league phase top of the table. We're going into the semi-finals in great form. We don't have too bad an injury issues in the squad. And for the semi-final group, we've been drawn against America de Cali, Independiente Medellin, and Once Caldas. Now, if we think back to last season with Junior, we made it into the semi-finals for both the Apertura and the Clausura, and in both stages, Independiente Medellin topped the group. So we're after some revenge against what are, now that we're at Atletico Nacional, some big rivals. So join us next time, see if we can make it out of the semi-final this season and see if we can potentially pick up a trophy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.